convoy of trailers loaded with penstocks now leaves the Ong Ban yard, heading for Lopita, some 100 miles away. The convoy speeds across the Shan Plateau. The entire course of this Ong Ban road had to be improved for the transportation of this heavy equipment. The convoy reaches Lopita. Early in 1959, the intake is almost complete. What remains to be done now is to fix the gates. The head race has also taken shape. The concrete water channel stretches far into the jungle. The entrance to the pondage is completed, and so also the pondage. And the concrete conduit. At about this time, the low-pressure pipeline is being installed. This pipe is about 9 feet in diameter. The pipeline extends for about 3,600 feet to the surge tank. The surge tank, made entirely of steel, rises to a height of 200 feet. This is provided to absorb a rise of water pressure caused by a sudden pull of water flow in the penstock due to a big change in generator load. Over the steep slope below the surge tank, the installation of penstocks, about 3,200 feet long, is progressing. The rope haulage is busy at work lowering the penstock shelves. It's quite a tricky job maneuvering the huge steel pipes, each one weighing over 10 tons, down the nearly 40-degree slope. But the workers manipulate the rope so adroitly that the penstocks come down into position without hitch. As soon as they are secured in position, the penstock shells are welded. The tropical sun makes the welding operation a really trying job, and often it has to be carried out at night. This is the spherical branch. In March 1959, when about 1/3 of the penstock line had been installed, the power plant building was completed. The trailers hauling the various parts of the generators from Ong Ban are now on the access road with its hairpin curve, the last but tricky course to the power station. Within the building, the erection of the turbine generators is underway. The setting of the runner. Meanwhile, the construction of the transmission line is in progress. The steel towers are being erected. In this way, a total of 1,200 steel towers have been erected over a distance of 250 miles from Lopita to Rangoon. Now the stringing of cables. This is a super high-tension line, 230 kilovolts, which transmits power at high efficiency. Thanks to the strenuous efforts of these people toiling under the scorching sun, the transmission line extends further and further over the mountains and across the fields. By the end of 1959, every section of the Baluchang No. 2 power station was completed. The intake. All of the 6 weir gates are now complete. By closing these gates, the flow of the Baluchang is stemmed and channeled into the head brace. The day has come for the water of the Baluchang to be taken in. Lined up are the hoists of the gates. The switches are thrown, the motors turn the winches, and the gates are lowered down. Now fully closed, the countenances of satisfaction. One gate is open to let surplus water overflow. The water from the intake runs in the head race. The head race crosses beneath a stream in siphon conduit. The pondage, brimming with water. It's about 1,200 feet long, 360 feet wide, and 10 feet deep, and stores 3 million cubic feet of water to meet daily peak load. The water from the pondage passes through the concrete conduit into the low-pressure pipeline. The surge tank. The Penstock line. The power station, now all complete. Inside, the 3 turbine generators are undergoing final adjustments. All spick and span, they await trial operations.